Thank you so much for joining me. If you are new here, I'm Cynthia Greer, the spiritualist who works at the in-depth level of the soul, helping you to attain higher consciousness and to release the old cycles and patterns that have held you back and kept you from realizing your full potential in life, especially the ability to work with your talents and your God-given abilities that you came into the world with. If you like the information I am giving you, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, and press that notification button as well. Those buttons are like gold to me, and they really do help get my messages out into the world, as I am a small channel without any sponsorship or monetization. I'm also the author of 5 published books as well. But today we are going to do a fabulous get ready with me using the beautiful Estée Lauder products that came in the train case that I purchased for 2025. And I have already stepped out of the shower, cleansed my face. I've put on toner, serum, eye cream, and moisturizer. And I can't stress enough the importance of beginning your makeup session with a clean, moisturized skin. Because if you don't do that, the double wear makeup, because it is matte, can be a bit tricky to work with. And many people have complained that they don't like double wear, that it's too thick of a makeup and it has peeled on their skin. And this is because the skin has not been properly prepared. I wear the shade Rattan because I am a light medium due to my olive complexion, which is hard to tell, but when I get in the sun, I tan easy. And I also have an ethnic background on my father's side. And so I have to take a look at the fact that I have this olive skin, and I would not go in to a lighter color, which is the wonderful thing about double wear. It has quite a few shades, so it's wonderful for every skin tone. You know, I was not going to do this video today because I didn't feel I looked my best, because my sleep patterns were completely broken up. And since this video is about a makeup look that you would wear going to a special Christmas or any other holiday celebration during the winter with maybe your gal pals or a mixed group of men and women or a church group. I'm heavy into my community, so here in Southern California, it kicks off early and people start luncheons and office Christmas parties and community Christmas parties very early in the month, and they go all the way up until Christmas Eve morning and afternoon. So I thought about it this morning, and I thought, now what would be the point of making this video in a perfect light, or what I felt was a perfect light? Because I have had very little sleep. My sleep was broken because I have a friend going through a crisis who I'm very worried about. And when I finally got to sleep, then I went down into that deep sleep, but I woke up again several times in the evening, and then at 4 o'clock in the morning, woke up again and couldn't go back to sleep. So I just prayed and meditated. And after a while, when I had my coffee, I got the message to go ahead and do this video, because what would be the point with what I am teaching to show myself feeling refreshed and completely relaxed when many of you mature women are going through crisis of your own, or you are in deep stress because you are unable to retire due to a financial situation, the economy, or you have grown children and grandchildren that you are worried about. And if you are younger and you're watching this video, it's unlikely that your life is going to be perfect with everything that is going on in the world and the estrangements and chaos within families. So I decided to talk about these things because it's even more important when you are dealing with life that isn't perfect, that is hectic. Maybe you were obligated to take care of business, or you ended up in an emergency room with someone hours before your office party or luncheon. All the more reason to show up in the best light that you can. And one thing that helps me too is to take a shower. If you don't normally shower in the morning and you've had a difficult night and you feel wrung out, take a shower, because that will just get everything off of you and it will put you in the mindset to do your makeup. And it's so much fun when you have a beautiful palette like the one that came in the train case. And I'm going to go a bit more daring, even though my eyes are a little tired. I'm going to work with about 3 different colors, and I'm going to blend them very well. So I'm going to start with my beige, which is the 3rd color down, and it has a slight shimmer. And I'm going to go all across the lower lid and halfway up on the 2nd and into the brow. Now I'm going to take the clean side of my Q-tip. I talked about this in my first makeup demo. I never double dip with my brushes because this is how makeup gets bacterialized. And there are ways to prevent those nasty, ugly little black dots that happen by applying with a Q-tip, or if you really want to be extravagant, clean makeup applicators, which I don't really feel the need to spend the money on that. So I used up the ones I had and I called it a day and I let it go. So the other way also is to make sure your palette is kept clean by just lightly spraying it with some rubbing alcohol or some witch hazel. And that will keep it clean as well. The next color I'm going to go into is this beautiful lighter shade of like a terracotta almost. I can't really describe it. It's a brownish color. And I'm going to go from the end of the second lid almost, but not quite, all the way up. And I'll take the clean side of my Q-tip and I will do the same on the other side. And I'm going to take a fresh Q-tip and I'm going to go with a darker shade now, the second one to the end, and I'm going to do just a touch on the very end of the lid. And then with my clean Q-tip, same thing. And now the fun begins because I'm going to blend away. And I am not a fan of makeup brushes. If you are, that is great. Go for it. Use a makeup brush. But I love the Q-tips for the cleanliness. And I also really don't like to have to continually clean brushes. Now, some of this is going to end up on the lower lid. That is okay, just don't overdo it. But you want to make sure you have a nice blended look. It was something I learned a long time ago when I was doing a lot of performing. I took many classes and I really enjoyed the makeup end of things a lot. Anything to do with makeup and hair I really liked because I grew up in my early years in a hair salon. I've talked about this before. My mother was a beautician. And I am just fascinated with anything to do with hair and skin and makeup. Okay. So I'm pretty well blended there. And I am going to now take a fresh Q-tip and go in with the darkest color and just do a twinge, just a twinge. Same thing on the other side, a twinge. And got that a little high, so I'm going to even it out. And I'm going to take a fresh Q-tip. I'm going to blend it in. And this is going to give me a little bit more of a festive look when I go out with the gals. And I have to tell you, when you are in a group of women, or in my case, I live in an active senior community, and people go through stuff. I mean, they get a diagnosis medically that they are afraid of, and they're trying to hide it. They're trying to cope with it because they don't want to dump on anyone, or they have recently lost a spouse. And I've been through a lot in my life, as many people have. God, I'm not the only one. And I found that when I feel really good about myself and I am at my best that I can be for me, for my physical makeup, that there is something that I can give out to others because I've replenished my own cup. I've taken care of myself. So if there's someone else in need, I can be of kindness and support to them. And it really makes a difference. And one woman told me the other day that on Thanksgiving, I had really spoke to her. It's just something I had said in passing during the meal. And she said, "You spoke to me. You spoke to my heart. And you helped me so much." And that meant the world to me. It really touched my heart. And so if you are considering giving up, that it's not worth it, and you have let yourself go from depression, think about that. Think about the fact that you are still needed in this world, that you still have so much to give, and that your experiences alone can help someone else without reliving the story and going into detail and getting down there and commiserating, because that doesn't help. But lifting someone up and saying, I got through it, you can too. Now, I don't have an Estée Lauder pencil, so I am using my Lancome pencil to line my eyes, which is perfectly okay because Estée did not give us a liner this year. And that's okay. They gave us a lot of other wonderful products, so I'm not complaining. I'm only going halfway from the end, and that is because I have almond-shaped eyes. So I want to open the eye up. And I'm going to only go halfway up at the top. This is an almond eye trick. And I didn't get this perfectly, but that's okay. I'm going to just blend because I like to smudge my eyeliner anyway. And now I'm going to the bottom. And there you have it. Now, I do not have a Estee eyebrow color. I have Milani, which I'm going to improvise with. And I am the type of person that if I don't need it, I don't buy it. You know, I wait until I need to have it and then I'll get it. And you may be looking at my eyebrows if you are somebody that does eyebrow weaving and saying to yourself, gosh, why doesn't she get her eyebrows woven? Well, there's a story behind my eyebrows. I used to have beautiful eyebrows, and they were very thick and luxurious, and I got overzealous and I overplucked when I was about 11, 12, and they never grew back. So, eyebrow weaving is not something that I would be comfortable with because I'm more of a natural person. The less I do, the better I feel. And so I just keep it at that, and I just use makeup. Now, my eyebrows are not perfect because my face is not perfect. My face is asymmetrical due to the disfigurement on primarily the right side from cancer treatment and surgery, where I've had several surgeries. I've had a grand total of 3. And they removed a lot of tissue under my neck, a whole chain of lymph nodes, and also I lost a lot of bone in my jaw. In fact, I lost part of it. And so, you know, my face is not even on one side. That's just how it is. I mean, you lose body, you have bone, you have facial disfigurement, and so you are just not even. And I have to work around that. And it takes a little extra time, but that's okay. If you plan for that time, then you can do what you need to do to get ready and feel better about yourself. I do not have a perfect eyebrow arch. I have tried. It is a bit impossible. So I fill in and I improvise. And if it isn't perfect, I don't worry about it. I just do the very best I can do. So my next step is the wonderful Estée Lauder mascara that came in the train case. And I'm not one to do a lot of mascara, as I have said before. I like just enough. And by just enough, I mean like 3 swipes, and I don't put it on my lower lashes. My next step is the wonderful blush. I think that this is so flattering. And I do the apple on the cheeks with a smile, and I do 3 circular motions, and that's enough. Now I'm finding that when it comes to blushes, I have totally fallen in love with the balmy type blushes. I like the powder blushes, but the balm blushes give you a completely different look. And I think it is really nice because you get that extra glow up. It isn't as matte. I'm going to now do my lipstick, if I can find it. And I'm going to go with Holiday Red. Now the red is not too red. I thought they did a beautiful job when they chose the colors. And if you find that that red is a bit much for you, you can always tone it down with the peach lip gloss that came in the train case. And the thing that I really love about Estee Lauder lipsticks is that they really are very emollient. And that is a plus for me because after having been through radiation therapy, my lips, my skin, everything just really dried out. My entire system went off kilter. And then going through everything else I've been through medically, I just really felt like I took a beating. So hair these days, if you've watched my older videos, I had long hair. And I go through periods where I will cut it off. And I haven't had short hair in about probably 6 years. And I love it because it's naturally wavy. And so all I have to do is like just fluff it up, you know, after I've washed it and let it dry, and I'm good to go. And low maintenance, I really feel I need that right now because I've made a major change with my recent moves, so it was time for me to lighten up a bit. And I hope for you during this holiday season that if you've been feeling weighted down because of circumstances, life's events, things that you have no control over. Now is the time to look at what you do have, no matter how simple it is, and work with what you have, because that is a wonderful way to take stock of the blessings that you really do have. And when you have deep gratitude, then you are opening the door to many miracles that are just waiting to appear in your life. I will end it here. I'm wishing you great love and many blessings. See you soon.